Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Haven't been filming video for a long time because I'm recently writing my book, my first ever book. Recently, I'm talking to different publishers, so I may not have so much time to to film some videos with you. And if you know any publisher or if you are a publisher, feel free to let me know because I'm more than happy to talk my book with you. So this book is more about thinking, methodologies, and also psychology, about different cultures. So yeah, stay tuned about this book. I'm more than excited to share with you when it's get published. Okay, so in this topic, there's not a very specific topic actually. It's to talk about what we can do in this messy world nowadays. Recently, the former Japan Prime Minister Abe got killed, and recently the UK Prime Minister Johnson resigns, and there are a lot of other stuff happening. And as an individual, as a normal individual, what you and me can do during this kind of messy time, I've listed down 4 points. The first point, which I'm also thinking is the most important one, which is you have to think independently. Because the dramas, the noise are everywhere nowadays. For example, nowadays the media, they try their best to capture their audience eyes. Therefore, they will make a lot of nonsense and meaningless news to the people. So the people might get a bit excited for this kind of news, but they're not true. And also, for example, nowadays I believe more and more YouTubers, they're trying to put as much as advertisement in the video or sponsors simply because they wish to make more money. And those kind of contents are, the taste is a bit different. And I would say sometimes that would mislead the people. And to be honest, I would say most of the YouTubers nowadays are trying their best to make money instead of sharing the contents to their audience. So when all these kind of things are happening, I would say the best way to do is to think independently. You don't have to be the bully for someone. You don't have to be controlled by someone. A very great drama, American drama I watched recently is the 3rd season for The Boys. So it actually illustrates the people's insights very well, and not only for the citizens, for individuals, but also for the governments and also from superheroes perspective as well. What impressed me most was the last episode when the Homelander killed an innocent people in front of the crowd. People are still yelling for him. So it's quite sad. It's quite sad that the people just can't think independently. And just like for some presidents when they're running, the campaign, a lot of people just standing behind him and yelling. I don't think this is something that people should do, okay? I mean, a civilized people should do. You can definitely support your loved, your trusted president and give him a vote. I think that's very important to vote. But I just don't think it's important to stand behind someone and yelling like bluntly. And just like when the president says some stupid stuff before the crowd and people are still yelling, it just make me confused about what those people are thinking. So I believe the drama The Boys actually reflects current people's situation very well. So I would say thinking independently will definitely help you a lot during your life and also for your future growth. And second point is about the finance. Currently the inflation is very crazy in the United States. Okay, let me reiterate one more time. I'm currently living in the Singapore. Okay, I'm not in the United States, but I know the situation in the United States very well. For example, the cryptocurrency crash, the inflation, and a lot of companies, they're cutting off the employees. And when I'm looking at LinkedIn, for example, the company called Coinbase is actually laying off, even including for those students who just signed the full-time offer with them, they will still let them go. So it's kind of tragic for those people. Okay, so currently the finance is in a big mess, and the Fed currently is increasing the interest rate a lot, and similarly to many other countries like Canada, either the Fed or the central bank are doing this similar stuff. So if you remember, in 2020 and 2021, the Fed is printing a lot of money, and now they just want to collect them back. So who's the victims? The residents are the victims, right? When they're giving out the money and people just don't have the habit of saving, they spend, and now they're getting their money back, and the people will be the one who suffer most. So what can these people do is, I believe, is to have a good habit of saving. Just save money by yourself. Don't purchase the redundant stuff. Don't buy a new house. Don't buy a new car. Just try to save as much as you can, and take as less loan as possible. This will definitely help you, especially for the uncertainty. Like nowadays, it's very messy. So the best way to stay alive for yourself is to have some cards in your hand. I would say nowadays cash is the king. Of course, you have to take the risk for the depreciation of your money, of your cash, but I would still say that's the best way. For me, I still have a lot of money in the stock market, but I would still say I'm also trying to save as much cash as possible. And my next point is to do things peacefully. We know there are a lot of noise and a lot of dramas nowadays, but it actually doesn't affect you as a normal human being, as an individual. If you're a student, just keep listening. Try not to, go out and yelling, okay, I love this person, etc. If you're jobless people, just don't, get controlled by those kind of authority people, like what happened in Hong Kong previously. Like a lot of jobless people, they're just hired by, I wouldn't say his name, but they're just hired by someone and fight against with the government. Just don't do that, okay? It's actually none of business. No matter what you're doing, the current macro situation actually doesn't change who you are and what you can do, okay? If you calm down, if you think independently, you can definitely find out the way, not to mention to find out the truth. So this leads to the reason why I have not made any financial education related video. It's because I just think there's too many noise outside. Like one of my favorite financial education channel, he actually published video every day, repeating some his own ideas. And I just think those are not very necessary. And for me, I think to help my audience the best is, instead of like saying something out of my own opinion, instead I would just think maybe leave some peace in some areas would be better. And sometimes when necessary, of course you have to speak out and to show your own ideas. But for the financial market right now, I think people just should get some rest and stay away from Wall Street. And the last point I would say is try to stay with the people you love. I especially feel this point in the last few months because, if you watch my previous video, I got a very severe back pain. So during that time, I'm thinking like what I would do in 30 or 40 years later when I have that kind of situation for my body, when my body is not good, what I'm gonna do. Maybe I would just say to cherish the people around you right now. Since we are in peaceful countries, we may not, have that kind of feeling, but if we're in some countries that are currently in war, you just don't know. Tomorrow when you open your eyes, maybe your families, maybe your friends will be gone. So I would say just cherish the people just in front of you. It's not only just for, the massive work time, but also in the peaceful time. I believe this is also the point that people should pay most attention to, but usually ignored. Alright, I think this is it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.